You are all welcome to semi-final Edu TV Nigerian. And my good name is Princess Temitope Olojido, and I'm going to be your moderator for today. Thank you all. And before I proceed, I would like to acknowledge the CEO of Edu TV Nigerian debate in person of Mr. Femi Oluwalemo. A round of applause for him. We also have the esteemed judges, the chief judge in person of Mrs. Mary Ajiboye. Let's celebrate her. You can do more. Then the co-judges, we have Mrs. Mayokun Awoniyi. Let's celebrate her. And Mr. Olani Kende. Let's celebrate him. Then we have the person in charge of time moderator in person of Mrs. Blessing Oluwalemo. Then the cameraman, we have Mr. John Afolabi. A round of applause for him. Then 2 schools are involved in today's debate, and those schools are Daystar High School Oshogbo and Kings and Queen Academy Oshogbo. Let's celebrate those schools. Let's celebrate those schools. Then we have some staffs from each school. From Daystar High School, we have Mrs. Fagbongbe. Let's celebrate her. Also, we have Mr. Bankole. Let's celebrate him. From Kings and Queens Academy, we have Mr. Olaoni Kehinde Emmanuel. Let's celebrate him. We have Mrs. Oladele. Let's celebrate him. Also, we have Mr. Matthias. Let's celebrate him. So, the participants from each school, the chief speaker from Daystar High School Oshogbo, we have Obafemi Oluwademilade. The supporting speaker, we have Akimoladun Faith. You can do more than that. Thank you all. Then from Kings and Queen Academy, we have the chief speaker in person of Queen Aishat Akombi. Let's celebrate her. The supporting speaker, we have Queen Temidu Lawrence. Let's celebrate her. So, thank you all. Wish you best of luck. Then I'll be handing it over to the chief judge now for the rest. Thank you.
Good day, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Are we all excited to be here? Yes. All right. On behalf of Edu TV, I welcome each and every one of us to today's debate competition. But before we go on, I would like everybody to chorus today's topic so that we know that we are all in the mood. So, from the audience, what's today's topic? A round of applause. Thank you so much. And to our speakers, I hope you guys are here to give us your A level, right? Your points. Thank you. All right, so before we move ahead, I will be listing out some of the components in which you students will be graded for today's competition. I repeat, please listen attentively. The first on the list is your understanding of the topic, followed by your argument, your evidence, rebuttal, how original are you guys, your confidence, or are you on the fidgeting level, your voice clarity, your structure, how structured are your points, your ideas, are they well structured or not. Then also we'll be grading your grammar and vocabulary, and then to cap it up, we'll be grading your coordination between the 2 speakers. Are we good to go? All right, so we'll be starting from the affirmative school, that's Daystar's Academy. So can we have the chief speaker? A round of applause for her, please.
Good day, Mr. Chairman.
panel of judges, accurate timekeeper, my co-debaters, and my fellow students. My name is Oluwademilade Obafemi Deborah, and I stand firmly before you all today to speak in favor of the motion, modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing young people's life expectancy. However, I would like to begin by defining modern lifestyles, genetics, and life expectancy that are crucial for adequate understanding and comprehension of the motion. What are modern lifestyles? Modern lifestyles literally can be defined as the new ways people live. Genetics, as a determinant of health, can be defined as inheritable traits that has been relatively stable over generations. According to the Christian book in Genesis 6:3, God said that man will live for 120 years. That is, the life expectancy of man is 120 years. But unfortunately, many of our youths with their modern lifestyles hardly make it up to 50 years. One aspect of this modern lifestyle that I want us to be looking into is the consumption of fast foods by majority of our youth here. And I know everyone seated here is guilty of that. Locally, we can see examples of fast foods as grilled meats that we know as suya, roasted plantain we know as boli, bread and coke, noodles, and so many more. Many of these fast food, especially noodles and grilled meats, are known to contain high amounts of seasonings, which in turn contains high amounts of trans fats and sodium that can either lead to or contribute to high blood pressure and heart diseases, resulting into hypertension. These factors, amongst many others, have led to the reduction in the life expectancy of many of our youths today. According to the World Health Organization, WHO, it has been said that over 420 people die every year due to foodborne diseases, as many of our youths are too lazy to rustle up healthy food themselves, containing fruits and vegetables that will be beneficial to their health. Many of our youths have lost their lives. Their life expectancy has been reduced, and according to what I've said earlier, it is not the fault of genetics, but the modern lifestyles that has introduced the consumption of fast food. Furthermore, the modern means of transportation, the introduction of the modern means of transportation, such as cars, buses, motorcycles, aircrafts, and so many more, have led to the reduction in life expectancy of many of our youths. It has shortened and will continue to shorten a lot of people's life due to fatal accidents emanating from their use. For example, it was recently reported that 21 Kano athletes experienced a fatal accident while on a bus from Ogun State to Kano after experiencing the National Sports Festival. Their life expectancy that was cut short is not as a result of genetics. It has totally nothing to do with genetics, but the introduction of modern means of transportation as part of modern lifestyles. Another reason I want us to look into is illicit drug use that is now a new portion of modern lifestyles today. Many youths have been seen to consume a lot of illicit drugs like cocaine, codeine, tramadol, and so many more that have been found to cause sudden cardiac deaths in people, thereby reducing their life expectancy. Another example, it was said in 2023 that a 20-year-old man died in Agbado Okeodo in Lagos State due to the consumption of illicit drugs, as many of young people and pupils today in Lagos communities are allowed to freely and openly consume and take in illicit drugs. The man's life expectancy that was lost was as a result of his modern lifestyles that involves the use of illicit drugs. If he had not engaged in illicit drugs, I strongly believe that the man will still be alive till date. What of unsafe abortions that have now become a crucial part or a major part in the lives of many of the young women today? It has been estimated that over 22,800 young women die every year from unsafe abortions. As a matter of fact, not only is the woman's life expectancy cut short, but what of the lives of the unborn babies? They are lives that has been truncated, that have not even been given a chance to live yet. Additionally, it is essential to add that lifestyle-related diseases like diabetes, obesity, cancer, stroke, heart diseases, and so many more are far more becoming more common as regarding medical health. In the past, we can all acknowledge that genetic diseases like sickle cell anemia, cystic fibrosis were the leading concerns as regarding medical health. But today, lifestyle-related diseases that's like the ones I've mentioned earlier have taken over the concerns of many people in the medical field today. And what's caused them? It is not genetics, but their modern lifestyles, what they've been accustomed to. With all these points of mine, I hope everyone here has been persuaded, including all the doubting Thomases amongst us, that lifestyle-related, modern lifestyles have taken over a lot of people's life expectancy, hence shortening them. Modern lifestyles ranging from illicit drug use to unsafe abortions, consumption of fast foods, and so many more have succeeded and will continue to succeed in affecting a lot of people's young health, psychologically, physically, and socially, hence leading to the reduction of their life expectancy. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you so much. And that was a good one from the Chief Speaker, Daystar's Academy. Well done. And so we'll move ahead to Kings and Queen. Can we have the Chief Speaker?
While I agree on the definition of key terms, as been laid down by my previous speaker, I believe that the implications have fall into a favorable condition, the one that supports my argument. They say you are what you eat. But what if the real problem isn't what we consume, but what consumes us from within? We live in an era where we scan barcodes for calories, track our heartbeats from our wrists, and get personalized diets delivered to our doors. But people are still dying early. This reminds me of a story of Maya. When Maya was born, her parents did everything right. Organic baby food, no screens before the age of 5, adequate outdoor play, and a loving stable home. As a teenager, she avoided fast foods, took part in sports, and went for regular checkups. But sadly, none of it mattered when she was 17. She was diagnosed with a rare form of cancer. The doctors didn't blame her lifestyle. It was traced to a mutation in her gene, which she inherited from her parents, the one that had quietly moved to her family tree, like a ghost in the bloodline. Maya's story challenges a popular myth that lifestyle alone determines how long we live. It is tempting to believe that with the right diet, enough sleep, and a few meditation apps, we can outpace disease. But science and stories like Maya's shows us something more harder to accept, that sometimes our body carries secrets we can't run away from. Genes, not choices, often write the first and the final chapters of our life. A warm and respectful good day to you, Mr. Chairman, esteemed judges, dutiful timekeeper, my worthy debaters, and all vibrant minds present today. Standing on the rostrum today is Queen Aisha Takombi, a royalty from the esteemed Kings and Queens Academy, and I'm here in opposition of the motion. Modern lifestyle, not genetics, often reduces the young people's life expectancy. Every day in Nigeria, we hear of people slumping in offices, elderly mother dying at childbirth, or seemingly fit men suffering heart attacks on the football field. In a country where some jog every morning, drink green tea, and eat more fruit than fufu, but they are dying younger. Clearly, there's something deeper at play. Maya's story is not unique. All around us, there are many people living better, eating more consciously, and avoid smoking, accessing better education, and staying connected to mental health resources. But life expectancy for some is still dropping. Why? The answer lies not in how often we scroll on social media or skip breakfast. It lies deeper in our biological blueprints we inherited. Genetics is the blueprint of our bodies, the invisible code we inherited from our parents and ancestors. According to a study published by Nature Genetics in 2019, about 20% of our lifespan is determined purely by genetic factors. In fact, a world-renowned geneticist, Dr. Francis Collins, said, and I quote, "Genetics slows the gun, environment pulls the trigger." So I ask you, if you're already holding a loaded gun at birth, how many push-ups or supplements can really save you? Let's take Nigeria for instance. About 150 babies are born with sickle cell each year, not because their mothers fail to eat vegetables, but their parents carry the wrong genes. Can jogging stop a cell from bending abnormally? No. In fact, how many of us in this room knows our genotype? Yet we talk about lifestyle as if it's all it takes to live long. Furthermore, Real-life examples exposes the limits of lifestyle over genetics. Bob Apper, a famous American fitness trainer who promoted healthy living on American TV. He had a near-fatal heart attack. The doctors discovered he had an hereditary gene called lipoprotein, which causes heart diseases. Let's bring it closer to home. Nigeria. A 27-year-old banker collapsed during a board meeting. He didn't smoke, drink, and went to gym 3 times a week. An autopsy later revealed that he had an inherited heart condition called hypertrophic cardiomyopathy. He didn't choose that. His genes did. These are ticking time bomb that no amount of green juice can diffuse. Moreover, family history acts like cause. According to Nigerian Cardiac Society, it states, if your father and your mother died young of cardiac diseases or heart disease, your risk increases up to 3 times, even if you live clean. Do you know your family health history? Many Nigerians don't, and that ignorance kills. And while my opponents may argue that lifestyle is full of risks, junk, stress, and pollution, let's not forget, many who indulge in unhealthy activities still live long. Also, research has shown that no matter how healthy your lifestyle is, you will live up to 120 if your genetic makeup doesn't support that lifespan. To illustrate, Jean Calmet, the world verified eldest person at 122, smoked until 117, drank port wine daily, and ate chocolate regularly. I also believe that unusual resistance to chronic disease was likely genetic. Similarly, many centenarians who indulge in lifelong bad habits still live long. Because how do you explain someone like Jean Calmet, who defied all health norms, but yet she lived long? Clearly, it wasn't her lifestyle. It was her genes. That is why an asthmatic patient cannot outlive the genetic flaws he or she inherited from their parents. Honorable judges, esteemed audience, why it is easy to blame lifestyle? The truth lies deeper in our blood. From sickle cell to breast cancer, from diabetes to hypertension, the fingerprints of genetics are everywhere. Unstoppable, undeniable, and unchangeable. As the dust settles, let this final word be of great importance. While lifestyle choices like diets and exercises are important, they are just the surface. The real foundation is the genes. It's often the quiet force cutting Nigerian life short. You might say we have a choice in how we live, but let me remind you, we have no choice in how we were born. While my opponents focus on external reality, I focus on internal reality. Respected educators, distinguished guests, and thoughtful minds gathered today, I have presented facts, values, and reasons behind my stance. I now leave this case into your capable hands, confident that the truth needs no defense beyond what I've already been said. I now leave you with this final question. If destiny is already written and coded in our DNA before we were born, can lifestyle truly and really overwrite it? Once again, by title, I remain Queen Aishat Akombi. Thank you.
All right. This is getting competitive in the real sense of the word. Do you all agree with me? Yes. All right. Presently, we are being schooled by Kings and Queen and Daystar's Academy. Daystar's Academy are schooling us that modern lifestyle is a corporate, while Kings and Queen, it's opposing the motion that it is genetics, right? But still have more to go. Let's listen to what their supporting speakers have to say. So let's give the mic to him.
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Akimola Faith, and I rise to firmly support the motion that modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing the young people's life expectancy. This has become another segment of modern lifestyles that has become a contributory factor to the reduction of people's life expectancy, especially young people. While some may argue that modern lifestyles are the main primary culprit, while some may say that modern lifestyles are the primary culprit, standing on the existing protocol, my name is Zaki Molanufate, and I rise to firmly support the motion that modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing young people's life expectancy. We argue that modern lifestyles are the primary culprits in reducing young people's life expectancy and not genetics because of the toxic work-related stress that young people expose themselves to. And this has become another segment of young people's modern lifestyles, which is a contributory factor to the fact that it reduces the life expectancy of young people. Young people work a lot and hardly sleep. For example, Anna Yusuf, a BBC journalist, was reported to have died by suicide after being diagnosed with sleep disturbance. Another example is that of Sunaventa, a South African journalist who died in June 2017, with her death being linked to the stress of her passion for her work and a struggle for press freedom. Additionally, technological tools that some use for self-security and protection, which are from a part of young people's modern lifestyles, especially courts, have succeeded and still succeeding in reducing the life expectancy of young people. For example, a gunman at Texas in the US shot dead 90 students before the man himself was finally killed. Furthermore, in Nigeria, it was reported that a male teenager in his father's car going to sit WAEC in Ibadan was hit by stray bullets, which eventually led to his death. We should also remember the female lawyer in Lagos who died by stray bullets that has sent so many young people from this world before their time. News had it that the woman was shot with her unborn twins on Christmas Eve by a police officer named Drambi Vandi. In conclusion, young people's life expectancy is being shortened by their modern lifestyles because of the toxic work-related stress and their body being hit by stray bullets from guns, the tools of modern technology. While you may argue that genetics load gun, we must come to the understanding of the fact that modern lifestyle pull the trigger to reduce young people's life expectancy. Therefore, for this reason, I stand firmly on the point that modern lifestyles are not genetics reducing young people's life expectancy. Thank you.
A round of applause. Thank you so much, the supporting speaker of Stars Academy. Now let's give it to Kings and Queens supporting speaker. Thank you.
Let's paint a picture. A 16-year-old girl collapses during a school race. She's fit, active, and health conscious. She avoided late night habits, junks, and screens. But the doctors find a genetic heart condition she inherited from her grandfather. A silent killer that lifestyle had nothing to do with. No amount of exercises, healthy eating, or digital detox could save her from what was already written in her DNA. This affirms the saying of Robert Urich: a healthy household starts from the inside. Building upon the established framework laid out by my chief speaker is Queen Tim Dolores, Her Majesty from the esteemed Kings and Queens Academy. And I'm standing firmly against the motion. Modern lifestyle, not genetics, are reducing young people's life expectancy. Honorable judges, co-debaters, gentlemen and ladies, while it is convenient to blame young people's choices, science tells a different story. Genetic disorder, hereditary cancers, autoimmune diseases, and predispositions to mental illness are increasingly being recognized as the root causes of early death in youth. Modern lifestyle may influence well-being, but they are not the driving force behind declining life expectancy. I repeat, modern lifestyle may influence well-being, but they are not the driving force behind declining life expectancy. In this debate, I'll prove to you that genetics, not lifestyle, are more powerful, more pervasive, and more permanent factor in determining how long or how short a young person's life may be. To start with, the rising role of genetics in modern medicine. Let's begin with science. According to the World Health Organization, approximately 10 out of every 100 deaths worldwide are due to inherited genetic disorder. These include conditions like cystic fibrosis, sickle cell anemia, cancers, among others, all of which affect young people but are not caused by lifestyle choices. Furthermore, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention estimates means that up to 72% of rare diseases are genetic in origin, and these manifest either in childhood or adolescence, drastically shortening life expectancy, regardless of how healthy an individual's lifestyle may be. Let's consider sudden cardiac death in young athletes, a devastating but telling example. According to the American Heart Association, about 1 in 50,000 young athletes dies from sudden cardiac arrest, and the leading cause is hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, a genetic heart condition. To illustrate, honorable judges, I believe we are all aware of Sam Okparaji, a Super Eagle star who died of cardiac arrest while playing. Late Sam Okparaji and other young athletes are fit, active, and health conscious. It is not modern lifestyle that kills them. It is what they were born with. Even mental health, often blamed on modern stress, has a strong genetic root. Schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and even depression has a significant hereditary syndrome. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, approximately, if you should have a first-degree relative that has schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, it increases the risk of developing schizophrenia increases tenfold. Picture 2 young men, Daniel and Toby. Both eat well, exercise regularly, and maintain good health. Daniel was diagnosed with hereditary blood disorder at 22 and dies at 25. Toby lives to 80. What made the difference? Not behavior, but biology. To bring clarity to what has been laid before you, your genes are like the engine in a car. Lifestyle is how you drive it. You can drive safely, but if you have a small engine, you can never go as fast as someone with Ferrari engine. Hence, DNA decides how long or how far one can age. Lifestyle ups, but DNA decides the finish line. The fact speaks louder than any further words. I leave it in your hands. I leave you to judge the strength of truth. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Both schools have schooled us. There is still room for more, right? There's still room for more. Also, we'll be giving 3 minutes each to each chief speaker to cap up their points. So let's start with the affirmative school, Daystar.
Standing on the existing protocol, once again, my name is Oluwademilade Obafemi Deborah, and I stand before you here today once more to give you more proof that truly modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing young people's life expectancy. My opponent here has given us a lot of proofs that truly, yes, genetics are reducing young people's life expectancy. But I want us to listen to the facts she stated. She stated things like 1 out of 50,000 people, 10 out of 100 people. What happened to the remaining 90? What happened to the remaining 49,999 people that died, not as a result of genetics? But of course, it has to do with how they live, how they act day to day. You mentioned things about people that their lifestyles were so perfect that they didn't deserve to die, right? But I want you to come to the realization that not everyone would come openly or to the social media to start exposing the things they take, to start showing you the illicit drugs they use, to start showing you all the things they did. And yes, you mentioned another thing about 2 brothers that were both diagnosed with a heart condition or a blood disorder, yes. You said one died at 25 and the other lived up to 80. You also asked the question, what made the difference? Yes, of course, what made the difference? Since they both shared the same blood, of course the genetics should be the same. What made the difference is the lifestyle they both lived, the 2 different lifestyles they both lived. Truly, one died at 25. They said it was because of the blood disorder. The other one lived up to 80. They didn't tell us what he died of, and certainly not the blood disorder, because the other one died younger and the elder grew up to live to 80. So of course, what makes the difference is how they both live their life. What makes the difference is the type of modern lifestyle they both carry out in their daily lifestyles. With this point of mine, I hope I've been able to prove to you once more that modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing young people's life expectancy. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Kings and Queen, can we have your rebuttal?
Standing on the well-established protocol is still Queen Aishat Akombi. I rise today not just to speak, but to awaken the room with one simple truth. Genetics is the silent architect of our fate. Why do we need to change habits if our biology is already working against us? We've heard it and said it again, that lifestyle is one that's killing us or cutting our life short. But let's pause. Let's take a deeper look. Is lifestyle really the villain here, or something more rooted? Picture two young men. She said that fast food are the main determinants of. Well, she said fast foods are main determinants of lifestyle, which is cutting our life short. But I ask you, is it because just because someone eats fast foods, does that mean someone will be obese? Just because someone smokes, does that mean the person will have lung cancer? Just because someone stinks, does that mean the person will have depression? Also, she made mention of people having stray bullets, accidents. Well, I believe lifestyle is a determinant of how our life have been cutting short every day. But are they the real one here? Genetics is the main factor, is the main reason why they are cutting our life short. And I could remember vividly, my co-debaters said, he pictured two young men, not two young brothers. They are not of the same blood. Two young men, they eat together. They live in the same environment, not because they share the same blood. It is their genetic factor that came for 25. And because the other one genetic factor is really strong, he lived up to 80. And you mentioned drug abuse. Well, research has shown that genetics has a major role in the addiction of drugs. According to the National Institute of Drug Abuse, genetic factors play a bigger role, about 40 to 60% in the addiction of drugs. And also, you say that lifestyle is how we maintain our genetic factor or our biology. But let's picture a house. If a house without a very good foundation, can it last up to many years? No. If you don't have a real genetic foundation, surely you can't last into some 50, 80, or 120 years. If you have a good foundation, a good genetic foundation, you will surely live long, even if you even if you live bad. That is why I illustrated Jean Calmet, who lived up to 122, smoked onto 117, drank pot one daily, and ate chocolates. It wasn't our lifestyle. It was our genetics. Let us reason. Let us know that we can control how we live and how we eat, but we cannot control what is written in our DNA. Thank you.
Thank you so much to the two schools. And while we collate the results for today's competition, the floor is open for our audience to say one or two about the topic on ground. I'm sure you have something to say about it. Please, a round of applause for him.
Standing on the existing protocol is King Emmanuel Awe, and I'm here to back up what my colleagues have said. Yeah, most people argue that some people do not know their genes, but everyone can control their lifestyle. But that doesn't make lifestyle more important. Just because you can control something doesn't mean it is a powerful factor. Imagine a person studying very hard for an exam. If a person have a photographic memory, that's inside our genes, photographic memory. If the person have a photographic memory and he reads very well and study very well, he or she can outperform the person who studied very hard. That's because of our genes. Thank you.
Thank you. From Daystar's Academy, do we have anyone? Thank you.
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Adema Precious. I'm from Daystar's private school. I stand here before you to support the motion which says modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing young people life expectancy. Out of all the co-debaters' points, I figured out that even when genetics are killing majority of our people. But do you know that the modern lifestyles too are? People with people with bad genes in their body, it is not their fault. It's because of nature. So we can't say that because of their natural genes is what they are killing them. Look at, for example, a boy going to school, he has asthma, and guess how he is bullied? Bullied does not even come from anywhere. It came from the modern style, or from our modern lifestyles. Look at how they bully a boy because he has asthma, because he always perform the asthma activity is in the class. It's because of how the modern lifestyles has really influenced our genes. And even genes is not like made, like it just was not the one that made the self. We know that our parents, they always tell us the parents that before you marry, check which genes you have before you marry. ASS marrying another SS, making the child to be guilty of the genes. That is very bad. You make the child, because of the modern lifestyles, you are influencing the child of his or her genes. No. And also, we have already our modern lifestyles have already increased our raping, smoking, and vaping, and all of these things. It's not because the young woman does not want to perform their future generation purposes, but why? Because of how they were raped, which is part of our modern lifestyles. Looking at how they are burning an unborn child, which they don't really want to carry. How will they not? How will this not happen? So genes may play the foundation, but lifestyle plays the outcome. But because of the modern lifestyle, we see majority of our parents going to work because of the sleep, and majority of them may die because of sleep disturbance, consumption of too much fast foods. And if we look at this very well, the fast foods contain much of chemicals than the real food. Modern lifestyles have increased the consumption of our fast foods, in which contains much chemicals that are really killing our people. So look at how a person who have a gene but is eating much of food that contains much chemicals. How will that person not die? So modern lifestyle does not only genetics does not really kills people like that. It's because of your actions. It's what you take, your modern lifestyles that you are bringing up. So we have even heard of the pollution that's very made by our manufacturing system, by the modern lifestyles. Pollution is everywhere, and it's really killing so much people. So I guess that with the 3 points of mine, that you guys have been persuaded that modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing young people life expectancy.
Thank you very much to our audience. This shows that you truly... Oh, we still have someone? Okay, please come.
Standing on the existing protocol, my name is Akikumi Ibtisamat, and I'm here to give a little bit point and rebuke or refute what our worthy opponent has said. To start with the limited and exhausted points that my opponent have given. They mentioned something earlier about, is it everyone that smokes that have cancer? It is even written on the pack of cigarettes when you buy it that smokers are liable to die young. Please, isn't this enough to show us that modern lifestyles are even killing our young people and youth nowadays? He said something earlier that is it everyone that eats sugar that has diabetes? There is a limit to sugar consumption that we can take, and even though we abuse it and we still eat it more than once, twice, thrice daily, this is giving us an evidence, and it's still showing us that modern lifestyles have continued and will continue to do so by reducing our young people's life expectancy. You said before, we are painting pictures. We are not painting pictures, we are giving facts, and we are giving realistics about what has happened. We are not to be painting pictures, we are to be looking at evidences which has happened. You said earlier that Daniel was diagnosed with a blood disease at the age of 22 and died at the age of 25. Although we knew that Daniel died of a blood disease, maybe he didn't cure it well. I mean, we've seen people with heart diseases such as diabetes or hypertension who even live more than how they are supposed to live. if Daniel could have cured himself by slowing down his consumption of fast food or so on, or do we even know whether Daniel was involved in taking drugs? No, Daniel didn't tell you what happened. You only know the fact that he died of blood diseases. While Toby, on the other hand, lived up to 80. Of course, maybe it's part of his gene that he didn't have a blood disease or so. But do you think if I smoke every day, or let's use that Toby as for example, do you think if Toby smokes every day, do you think he can live up to 60, 80, or what did you say? No, I don't think so. And let's even let's face the facts. Nowadays, students, pupils, young minds, adults are stressing themselves, getting worked up just to fit into society. You see everybody on TikTok now. But with this few points of mine, I hope I've been able to rebuild and also add to the points of my co-debaters. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And a big thank you once again to our audience. This has clearly shown that you guys are with us. All right, but before we announce the winner, okay, according to our matcha in Edu TV, there is no loser. We only have a group that will move to the next level. All right, so before we announce that, I will give the mic to my co-judges to give us recommendations and corrections. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
You are all well done. This is a job well done. I give kudos to all the debaters. So I have some recommendations here with you. And the first is speaking. The debater mentioned it is not it has shortened, because the as there is a present perfect tense. So it is not it has shortened, but it has shortened. It is not a silent consonant sound. So the D must be pronounced. Also, we have in the lives of many young women. Yes, the debater said in the lives of many of the young women. It is in the lives of many young women. So please take notes of that. Also, when one of the debaters was speaking, she said, additionally. It is not supposed to be additionally, but in addition. When we have in addition, it means you are introducing a new idea. But when we have additionally, this emphasizes something more significant. And also, the concluding part is not good at all. Because when we have in addition, it means there should still be another point before you conclude your debate. But after the additionally, which the debater said, she concluded a debate. So that's made the concluding parts not to be that good. I hope you are all taking notes of this. And also, when one of the debaters was speaking, she said, how many of us knows a genotype? It is how many of us know a genotype, not knows a genotype. Then also, one of the speakers said, when my opponents were arguing, and at that time, it was only one opponent that has spoken. So it should be when my opponent was arguing, not when my opponents were arguing. So also, one of the speakers, the speaker didn't master our lines very well. And in a debate, mastery of lines is very important. You need to master your lines very well and make sure you have the confidence. And however you may have stage fright, it is normal. But make sure you overcome the stage fright whenever you come on stage for any kind of debate or when you are on stage to make a speech. Do away with your stage fright. And also one of the speakers said, especially cultists. It is not especially cultists, because that speaker was talking about some acts. So it is not especially cultists, it is especially cultism. It is especially cultism and not especially cultist. We also have no amount of exercises. It is no amount of exercise. Please do well to take notes of that. And in our English of today, we don't stand against the motion. It's either you support a motion or you oppose a motion. Because if you stand against a motion or you stand for a motion, you will be penalized. That is the current standard of English. When it comes to WAEC level and your GS3 exam level, we penalize any students or any candidates that stand against a motion or stand for a motion. It is either you support the motion or you oppose the motion. And also one of the speakers said, the other one died younger. No, it is the other one died young. It is either you say the other one died young or you say the other one died at a younger age. So please take note of that. And also one of the speakers said, we are giving realistics. You are not giving realistics, you are giving realities and not realistics. Please take note of that. God bless you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Good afternoon once again, everyone. Okay. Thank you for staying with us from the beginning of this session. I have some recommendations. First, some corrections, then some recommendations to make concerning the speakers. Please, a round of applause once again for them. So while they were speaking, I heard a word used. Some words were mispronounced. We have modern, not modern. I don't know which of the sites used that word, so I'm just saying it so you could note it. It's not modern. And one thing is, if we constantly correct pronunciations, I suppose that this is not your first time on this platform with the debate ongoing. I want to point this out so that whenever you be having the opportunity to come again and present, please look into your vocabulary. It's going to help you when you are practicing. As my co-judge has mentioned the other time, you may have stage fright whenever you come here or speak before people in a public gathering, but it doesn't mean that you should lose your composure. It's good that you maintain that. Also, someone among you pronounced fatal as fertile. It's not fatal, because when the person was saying it, said fatal accident. It's not fatal accident, it's fatal accident. Sorry for that. And also, women is not woman. Women is not woman. It's with the E sound, the short E. It's not woo, it's we. Women. I hope you get that. When you were speaking also, I noticed something, and I would like to point it out. It's one of my major points. When you have said you would like to support or oppose the motion, whichever it is, help us see the topic. You don't go ahead and say, let me read out the topic for today. Okay, please. Modern lifestyles, not genetics, are reducing the lifespan of people. Ellipsis, ... It's not just a sentence. There are commas or commas, whichever it is, that are in the sentence. So, you do well to help us see where the pauses are. I'm going to speak and say, modern lifestyles, not genetics. Not modern lifestyles, not genetics. It doesn't show what you are saying. I'm not interested. Let's say. I'm not saying I'm not interested in what you guys have done. Greatly, I'm interested. You piqued my interest. What I'm saying is, when you want us to see what you are saying, follow the rules of punctuation. You don't give us a sentence without observing the pauses, the stops, the exclamations. Please do that. Modern lifestyles, not genetics. So there are pauses, and you should show them. Also, excuse me, please. Okay. You said schizophrenia. And it is not schizophrenia, it's schizophrenia. Yes, you could check your dictionary for that, please. We don't come on here and just open our mouths to say things. We fact check before we say, so that we also would not be making the errors, and the errors will not become double. So please check that. And when you were having your rebuttals, I noticed something. It was as if the two sides were coming with this pent-up anger. You just wanted to show the other side, yeah, we are not going here without leaving with the higher mark, you know, the points count. But one thing you didn't do is to attack the points, not... You were attacking the person instead of attacking the points. I was just hearing, she said, It's not she said. My opponent or my co-debater, you could have just said that, made this point. This is not true. While this is true, this is not. You just help us bring out the points more, to showcase glaringly to us. Make it glaring so that you don't make it as if you are fighting with your opponent. This is not a fighting or bout arena. We don't fight here. We only state arguments. Are we good? Thank you. So I'll be handing over to the Chief Judge.
All right, a big thank you to the co-judges. In order not to sound repetitive, I won't be dwelling on that aspect again. And I hope you all have put into notes the corrections and recommendations given. All right, so before I go ahead to announce the results, I would like to chip in that this is a sensitive topic that calls for reflection beyond these four walls. We are all young people here, right? So, dwelling on the facts we've listened to today, let's have a deep reflection on this topic. All right, so who is excited to know the winner? Okay, we are all winners, according to Edu TV. Who is excited? Are we guys not excited to know the results for today's competition? Show your excitement now. All right. So this is the moment we'll be waiting for. You know, before we started, I highlighted the components in which our speakers will be graded, and that's 100%. All right. So for Daystar's Academy, we have, thank you. For Daystar's Academy, they have 59.6. Please, a round of applause for them. All right. And for Kings and Queen, they have 74%. All right, so still with a clapping ovation, please let's welcome the CEO of Edu TV. Thank you.
Thank you all. Once again, I want you to applaud once again and appreciate all our participants. Like that at Edu TV, we don't have losers. We only have those who proceed to the next round. Of course, the final round. And they have all done excellently well. And I believe we have all gained a lot when it comes to this topic, because these are topics that deals with everyday life and life. So I would like to welcome the participants from Daystar. Please, I would like to have you here. So this is not the only gift we are going to give to them. This is just a token, because when you actually get to the semi-final stage, is not a small thing, and they have done excellently well. Once again, a round of applause for them. So we're going to be sending their gifts to their schools. Of course, we don't have all the gifts here. This is just a token. So because this semi-final, we have a big plan for all our participants, and they might also be called for. On the final, because on the finals we're going to be acknowledging schools, not those who actually came first, second, third. Schools that actually have the best rebuttal, best, the grammatical stuff, and so we're going to be bringing those things, and we're going to be awarding them gifts. Thank you once again, cameraman. Thank you very much. You can go at yourself. Right, please, can I?
Thank you all. We acknowledge the participants from each school. They really tried. Let's appreciate them. So this program, Edu TV Nigerian Debate, this program will really help us to build us academically, because you don't know where you might meet yourself in the future. Maybe God has already destined you to be in the presence of thousands of people to address them. The journey of 1,000 smiles begins with a step. So if you are going to a greater place in life, you start from somewhere. So this program will encourage us to focus more on our academics. Thank you all. Let's celebrate ourselves. And God will help us all in Jesus' name. Thank you all. So we've come to the end of today's debate. Thank you all. We'll see you later.